Okay, so Sekinat is also a beginner as well. Sekinat is a beginner as well. Oh, amazing, Adini. I'm just seeing your um, additional comments. That's good. Yeah, definitely to comment later on. That's good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to be handing over to our founder, Gbemisola Ojo, to basically take over from here now. And right about now, she will be making the introduction. She was going to be introducing our guest speaker, basically. And from there, it's going to be so interactive from here onward. So I'm just going to be handing over to Bill to take over from here. Over to you, Bill.
Okay. Hi everyone. Hi. Good evening. It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a very brief session, and I am looking forward to having our guests answer our questions, and then I chip in where necessary. Okay. So okay, so basically, we have on the call a special guest. Her name is Omolara Adisa. I'll give her some time to introduce herself. But one thing you should know about Omolara is that, in fact, someone literally sent me a message ahead that, oh my, Omolara is such an excellent tech professional. I'm so happy that she's doing more webinars these days. And I just forwarded it to her just before this because someone literally just sent me that this evening. So Omolara is one of our alumni at Cloudboosta. And she transitioned into this cloud computing field with no tech background. So she's definitely the best to answer many questions that you have. So, Omolara, just before I go into asking you the questions that people are, and so if you have any questions, please just use the link in the chat box. Ask all your questions and we'll take them one after the other. But before we go into your questions, Omolara, can you just tell us a bit about yourself? Right, let people get to know you. And it's so good to have you here, Omolara.
Thank you so much, Gbemi. It's so good to be here, actually. It's so good. I mean, looking back at, when I first joined Cloudboosta as a newbie, trying to, learn cloud and all. So my name is Omolara Adisa, and okay, I would say I'm an Azure cloud platform engineer. I should actually say that, because it's important to stress that I'm an Azure platform engineer at BGSS UK. I transitioned to tech from a background in English language. So my undergrad was spent, reading books by Shakespeare, Wole Soyinka, and exploring, different themes. But here I am, a cloud professional. I've spent, I think, 3 years now with my current company, and I've worked on a couple of, projects from the energy sector to the government, sector as well. So yeah, that's me. I, you know, transitioned through Cloudbooster actually. So yeah, I'm so glad to be here. Like, I'm really happy.
Thank you for introducing yourself. So you can hear, you heard from the horse's mouth. Like, Omolara studied English language at university, and here she is. But I must say that along the way, right, she got this, she cut this bug and, became a tech enthusiast. And that's what led her into this journey in cloud computing. So my first question for you, Omolara, is this, and I think it's related to your journey as well. Someone is asking, what is the difference between cloud and other tech roles like maybe product management, data analysis, or software engineering? I'm considering a tech transition, right? And I want you to talk about it because I believe that you explored a few things. Was it website design, even product management before cloud? So can you just give people an idea? And if you're recommending cloud, like why did you eventually go down the route of cloud computing?
Hmm. Good question, actually. I'm glad whoever asked that really asked because it's very essential to know why you want to pick what you want to pick. So if you want to choose cloud computing or any field in tech, it's really important to know what it entails. And yeah, so in tech, I want to liken tech as construction. I want to put it side by side. It's just the way you would have a bricklayer that would lay like a foundation. You can have product designers as that. They would design whatever it is you want to have, or say an architect actually. Then you can have a product manager, someone that's like a supervisor that would, supervise everything you're doing. You have software engineers, people that build all the apps, all the banking apps, all the websites that you want to use. And then you have cloud professionals, people that ensure that customers or clients are able to, reach whatever it is you're building. Because in tech, you're building for people. You're not building for just building tech for, just for the sake of building. You're building for people. So cloud professionals ensure that every app that's built, every thing that is worked on is reached by, customers. So those apps have to live somewhere. They live on, cloud computers, and they're easily reachable, they're easily scalable, through the work that, cloud professionals do. And I think the other part of the question is, why would I suggest cloud computing? Um, I think I actually explored a lot of things. I really wanted to get into tech. I remember there was a time I tried to, do wire mock, and I remember one event I went for, and somebody said, "Who did this thing?" And it was not good. I'm not good with colors. I'm not really, because product design is it's a mixture of understanding like user mindset, processes, things like that. So you could have your strengths, in that area where you're able to, piece things together, understand user mindset and all those things. That's fine. But that industry is quite saturated at the moment. And the thing is, even if you have a team of, tech professionals, you most likely have like one or two product designers to say 10 cloud professionals. So where would you rather be? Where there is more competition or where there is less competition? And also for Scrum Masters, I would use my current role as an example. I'm currently working on a government project, and I would say that my Scrum Master manages like 3 projects at the same time. So imagine one Scrum Master to, 3 cloud professionals on my team, then another team, I know of like 3 or 4. So imagine you being on, the side where many people are needed rather than, being on the side where just one person is needed. So I would say in the tech space, I would advise anyone to position themselves where, there is a demand. And for cloud professionals, there is a demand. The interesting thing is I got a message from someone in Dubai this morning. I just looked at it. I didn't even have time to reply. So I believe that in Dubai, they would probably have a lot of, product designers. They probably have like, they would need one Scrum Master to a team, but they definitely need a lot of crowd professionals. So I would say it's best to position yourself where the demand is, and, where you know that your job would be secure. Yeah.
That's amazing, Omolara. I mean, you guys are hearing from the horse's mouth. Like, she graduated from Cloudboosta about 3 years ago, and she's been working since then. She's been in that job, and now she's even getting contacted by people in Dubai and all of that. So job security is a big factor for people that are wondering, why are we saying cloud? The future, you're looking at the trajectory, you're looking to position yourself, just like she said, in a field that is not too saturated and where there are people that are needed. And I always say the more difficult it is to learn a skill, the harder it is to replace you, really. Because it takes a while to actually learn cloud skills. That's why we have Cloudboosta Academy, which I'll talk about at the end. So stay till the end. I have a special offer for you, so you know how Omolara did it, and then you can follow her footsteps as well. So you also want to make sure that, yes, it may be a bit more complex to learn cloud. However, it can be broken down. As in, I always say this, like, the difference between a subject that is difficult, that you found difficult in secondary school and you found easy, a lot of it was dependent on who was teaching you, really. I thought chemistry was hard until I met the best chemistry teacher ever during A-level, and I had a better grades in my A-level chemistry than secondary school, just because my teacher changed. So, that's what we do at Cloudboosta. We pride ourselves in being able to break down concepts. That's why someone like Omolara, who studied English, was able to transition into cloud computing, and she's still been on that upward trajectory for the last 3 years. So thank you so much for answering the question. Someone is asking, and I'll combine it with someone is asking, how do I deal with imposter syndrome in tech as a beginner? how do I deal with imposter syndrome? I would like you to comment on that, please. And then, sorry, okay, no, that's related to Cloudboosta. Yeah. So imposter syndrome, Omolara, what would you say?
I'm laughing because it's normal. Whoever asked that question, I want you to know that it's normal. The fact that you try to dismiss something doesn't mean it's not there. It's okay to accept that you feel like you're not worthy enough, you're not, worthy of being there. Um, but the truth is, I want you to know that everyone started somewhere. It's just like when you tell a baby to walk, the first few steps would be difficult. But if the baby does not try, the baby would never walk. So, I would say that if you don't try, you would never know if you can. So why not try? Even if you fail, at least you put in the effort. Um, and one thing people also do not know is that most people that you look at and you think they are the pros, the professionals, eh, they may not know everything. In fact, they do not know everything. So it's okay for you to actually try. Then if you feel you know there's one way you should never do it again. There are other ways to try. If there are 10 ways to do something, you try once, you fail at it, then you explore the nine other ways. So it's okay to feel like you're not good enough, but at least try. You gain mastery and confidence by failing forward, not by staying on one spot. So, as a beginner, I would advise you, please don't see yourself as small. One thing that really helped me in my career is the people around me. I would also say that you need to surround yourself with people that are very positive and people that are looking to support you. I remember a day that I was given a task to deploy like container instances, and I noticed that I needed to delegate some subnets and all, and I did it. And then my tech lead and someone else they were just discussing in a call that, oh, we need to delegate something. And he said, oh, Lara did it already. And honestly, I did not know that. I didn't know I had done it. But he looked at me like we were in the office together, and he looked at me, was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. I mean, he did not even know at first that, that needed to be done. But I mean, I just looked at the Terraform documentation. I did it. If I did it wrong, at least I knew that, okay, yeah, I should not have added this thing. And then I would improve on it. The fact that I can actually iterate as well, I can look at something, okay, is it good enough? I'm not satisfied with being small. I want to ensure that something is done excellently also helps. So if you feel like you're not good enough, yeah, fail at it, then continue. Ensure that you have your mind set on excellence so that if something is not good, you work on it, and then that's how you become a giant, really. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Omolara. It's just been a joy listening to you. Please keep your questions coming in. Please, we're going to take everything. Just give us it's some time to go through everything. So, Omolara, thank you so much. I'm going to combine a number of questions. And if you have any questions related to Cloudboosta specifically, please note that I'm going to take it at the end. So, don't worry about that, about our training, our structure, and everything. So, someone is asking, Omolara, like, what was your journey into tech like, right? Did you start with no tech background? You already talked about that. I think someone is asking that, can I combine my transition into cloud with my current 9 to 5 and then gradually transition? So people are wondering, what would that journey look like? And then someone is also asking, right, what's the potential for someone who just transitioned? What's the earning potential? Is there money there? Right? So if you can just combine those questions, like what was your journey like? Can they combine it with maybe something they're doing at the moment? And there was the earning potential. And if you can touch on visa sponsorship as well, that's another question that people usually ask. Yeah.
Okay, so what was my journey like? And can you combine, your current job with learning cloud? Yes, you can. When I finished, I think I started my training with Cloudboosta when I finished my master's program here in the UK. And then I decided to, get like a so interesting, it was actually a customer service job. But because I was doing my training with Cloudboosta, I started picking up a lot of things. There was this, it was actually with National Rail, and there was this task to turn on like this train, this ticketing machines that you see at the train stations, and then you have to do it with virtual desktop. I just decided to try my hands at it. and then I upgraded myself to first line help desk person. So yeah, that was how I started. I was able to tell them, okay, this is what I'm learning at the moment. I'm actually let my manager at work know that I am learning. So each time she looked at me at work, she would just look at me like, ah, this girl will leave us very soon. Even if she tries to, to help with other things, she's picking up a lot of things to learn. It was a win-win. I was helping them to do a lot of things that other people were not willing to try. And I was also, improving my knowledge as well. So I did not back down. I took every opportunity to learn seriously. So that was, how I started. I was learning. I looked at the current environment where I was, and I looked at how I could implement what I was learning at Cloudboosta into it. So that's a way to start. And can you combine your current job with it? Yes, definitely. I was, even though I was on the first line help desk, I looked for a way to, to apply whatever it is I was learning. And I ensured that I did not leave whatever it is I was learning at Cloudboosta just during Cloudboosta time. I was then also learning outside of that time. And I prioritized my learning. I knew what I wanted. I wanted money. So if money was the driving force, there's no reason for someone to invite me to a place and I'll tell them, and I'll not be able to say, oh, sorry, I can't make it this time. Maybe I can spare you 20 minutes next time. Your priority becomes your focus when you know what exactly you want. So you can combine it with your work. You just have to make sacrifices. You have to ensure that you prioritize your learning, you prioritize that money that you want above every other thing. You sacrifice the time for enjoyment, for, the time to learn actually. So that was what I did. And what's the earning potential? Well, for cloud, I would say a good starting salary should be 40,000 pounds in the UK. Maybe in the US could be 70 to 80K. I've heard a couple of, cloud entry people that are able to, negotiate their way. But one thing I would also stress, even in the UK, is that even though the starting salary is 40K, please always negotiate. I learned this the hard way. I spoke with someone in my office that, we were really on the same level. And when she told me her salary, I had headache the whole evening because I looked at her and I was like, you mean after your salary, you still collect 4K on per month on call? And I feel like don't say that because you are just starting, you'll not be able to negotiate. Please push more because they actually really need a lot of cloud engineers. They need them a lot. There is, even with the growth in demand for, AI and everything, what fuels AI is the data. So you as a cloud engineer, you'll be and they need to scale, their systems. They need cloud engineers that are able to ensure that they have the infrastructure in place to have the data, and then they can train AI. So AI is not going to replace your job. That's one thing for sure. And secondly, there's a lot of any potential, especially when you take your learning seriously. Just, go and follow the bag actually.
I love it. I mean, I think you've done justice to that. And you've also asked the question of, will AI replace your job? Because there are people have asked about that. What I would say as a comment, in addition to what Omolara has said, the more the rise of AI, the more the need for cloud computing, right? There are two different fields that actually need each other to function, So AI processing can never be done in isolation. And a lot of what powers AI is actually cloud computing. So both fields are very, very good, very relevant, right? So you just need to position yourself right. Okay. Someone is asking, as a family man, um, for a family man who needs to provide financially for a family, what is the most flexible route to transition to tech, right? And I'll add to what Omolara has said. She talked about her training program with us at Cloudboosta, which she will still expatiate on with other questions, right? But one thing that you would hear her say is that, she was doing her 9 to 5, and then she was learning Cloudboosta, and then she had to make sacrifices of, if I don't go for this party, if I don't go for this event, because I was focused on what she wanted to achieve, right? The training we have at Cloudboosta, which I'll talk about at the end, is structured for busy people, for family people, and all of that. Our classes are on Saturdays. And she also mentioned that she made out time outside of her work and the time, Cloudboosta time, to actually study. It can't get any better than that. You just need to plan yourself properly. The time that is for work, do your work very well. Now you have Saturdays and Sundays, right? And some people work on weekends. I understand that as well. But our training is on Saturday, and we expect that you rest on Sunday. We expect that you can squeeze out 2 hours Monday to Friday, either before you go to work or late in the evening. it's just for a period of time for you to get yourself into this field and for you to follow the bag, like she said, right? Once you have your job, you would see the reward of sacrifice. And of course, you have to keep learning, but it just becomes easier once you start earning money and you're learning at the same time. So that's what I would say to this person. Before I ask Omolara another question, let me just take this question. Someone is asking about age factor. Does age factor matter in the tech sector? And then the person is, I don't know if it's the same person, but another person is asking, I'm almost 55 years old with absolutely no tech experience. Is it advisable to enter this field? So again, my advice to you is think about what your goals are and what you want. You're not too old. We've had 50-year-olds, we've had 60-year-olds join us at Cloudboosta, and they've learned. And if I one of the there was someone who was about over 60 years old who joined our training. She had been in a different field for over 30 years, and she decided that she wanted to transition. I saw her. She attended a cloud event also recently, still very passionate about, the field. It's about what you want. Age is not a limitation, it's not a factor. In fact, it is discrimination for an employer to start saying that they're not going to hire you just because of age. So take advantage. If tech is what you want, we want people that are ready to give it all it takes. I don't care what field you've been for, and I don't care how many years you've been there. You can transition, and Cloudboosta is here to take you on that journey. Okay, so Omolara, back to you. Someone is asking that I'll combine a few questions. How did you land your first cloud role? Because I mean, when you finished that Cloudboosta, what was that journey? How did you land your first cloud role? And someone is saying, how satisfied are you with tech? Or do you still feel unsatisfied at the same time? And then someone is asking, please, do you think getting into cloud engineering role is harder now than when you got into the role? Right. Let me see. Okay, yeah. How was your application process like? Did you apply a lot, or did you have to tailor your application to specific companies? So these people, the questions here are around how you got your first role, right? And what do you think now, 3 years ago when you got your first role, and now for somebody who is trying to get their role? So I've combined about 4 questions, and someone is asking about job satisfaction as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, baby. So how
Sorry,
did I
it's a
get
lot
my
of questions.
how did I get my first cloud role? Um, I actually got it through referral. And that goes to show that networking is very important. The people that you meet when you're doing your training are important. The people you meet when you go for meetups and when you go to the industry to see what exactly is going on, they are equally important. There are a lot of people have met and they're like, oh, if we have anybody that they're hiring and all, we'll reach out to you, just send us your CV, stuff like that. And I got a couple of jobs as well outside of, even networking. I think I got a job with the top retailing company in the UK, and I had to turn that down. So I remember during that interview, one of the things that they said to me was, there are no areas of improvement for you. Like, we really want you. And I think it's a mix of both. One, networking; two, putting yourself out there and being confident, not holding back. So yeah, that was how I got my job. And I think the second question was around
Job
how satisfied.
satisfaction. Yeah.
I'm very satisfied. I know I know people might say, oh, it's because, you're already there and, you're earning the money already. But I would say I am actually very satisfied. I'm satisfied because, one, I'm making an impact. The previous project I worked on, it will be rolled out next year in the UK. And I know that my energy bill will reduce because of that. So all the nights that I have stayed up to ensure that, the releases go through, the builds are okay, everything work as it is because I know that my energy bill will reduce. So yeah, I've made an impact. And there is this joy whenever I go on LinkedIn and I see that particular client say, oh, we're able to reduce the amount of energy consumed within X, Y, and Z time by X, Y, and Z percent. I know that I actually put in my blood and sweat into it, and it's not going to affect only me, it's going to affect millions of people in the UK and generations to come. And the pay, yes, let's not forget that. I am very satisfied, but I mean, there can always be more money. I'm not going to reject that. But I am very satisfied from making an impact and then from the pay as well. The last thing, I think it's around
Hard to get a job now than it was. Yeah.
uh, how hard it is to get a job now. I would, well, in the UK, we know that they're always on peak periods for recruitment, and then there are always like, really quiet periods when, people are not recruiting. I would say that it's easy. There would always be that gap for people to actually employ people because there are lots of roles. I there was this application I wanted to make last week, but I just got tired and I couldn't make it. And then yesterday I checked on LinkedIn and I saw that that same recruiter posted that job, and I was like, people have not found somebody. I was like, okay, if I have some time, I may apply. And that's not because I don't like my current job. It's just that, I mean, wherever the money is, wherever the star is, that's where you go, right? So there is always that job. And one thing that people also do that's I think one limitation that people also have is their mindset, thinking I can't do this job. So there are times you see a job ad and then you're like, oh, this may be for seniors. The truth is, whenever you see any job vacancy and they put 10 points there, what they most likely need is just 3 points, as long as you can do it confidently. I'm stressing confidently because there are times that we know things that we don't really come show up as, being being skilled in that area. We fear that, oh, I mean, it's for people that have 3 4 years experience. As long as you can do it, you've done it in your class. The interesting thing is it's what you've done in the boot camp on your training that you're actually doing on the job. So why do you think you cannot do it? So the jobs are there. Just don't limit yourself in your mind. My chief engineer said something recently, said, we had a call and he said, I've actually been, what did he say? He said something around the lines of, oh, he's just been pretending all the while because he's been using people's knowledge to actually do the work. I mean, I knew he was joking, but it showed that he was being sincere, that he didn't know it all. And there are times he made mistakes and he had to ask people to say, oh, are you sure this is the way to do this thing? There was a task he gave me to do, and then I pointed out the fact that, oh, actually, we can only attach one public IP. And I said, oh, I never knew that. That sealed my. From that day, I looked at him and I was like, okay, well, yeah, even if this man doesn't know it, I know it. So please, nobody knows it all. So the jobs are there. Don't limit yourself by the number of, skills they're looking for.
I love that. Thank you so much, Omolara. So even though, yes, there may be peak side, there may be peak times, there may be down times and all of that, it doesn't change the fact that ultimately and overall, there are opportunities that you could apply for, okay? Someone is asking, this is more of a request than a question. I'm curious to know if you can do a civil review because I'm applying to cloud roles but always get rejected. So I guess this is somebody that has learned cloud computing and they're trying to get a job. For you specifically that asked the question, you can send me a DM on LinkedIn and then we can take it off from there. That's fine. So someone is asking, please, can we know how to get remote jobs as a cloud person and if certifications are a major requirement? So this is actually a very important one. I would like you to talk about, and then someone is also saying, how long is the training at Cloudboosta? Is 18 weeks, and what's probability of getting a job outside Nigeria via the process? So I think since we're talking about outside Nigeria, let's talk about remote opportunities as well. You could share from your experience or people that you've done Cloudboosta with. How can people get remote jobs, and are certifications a major requirement?
Yeah. So I would say certifications are not really a major requirement, but it's good to have for someone who is trying to transition. That would show that you're actually dedicated to, learning, and, you have somebody that can actually certify or proof that, you actually know what you're doing. A certification is just a way to show that, okay, well, yeah, I'm not only saying I'm learning in the background, I'm actually going the extra mile to, do exams to show that I have been learning. So certifications are not always, important. I've interviewed a couple of people in my company, and honestly, the last thing I check is certifications. I don't even have the time for that. I just want to know, what have you done? What can you do? And what are you willing to, put down to ensure that you get the job done? That's it. And for remote jobs, um, hmm, I work in a consulting company, so I would speak to that. I know that my company doesn't employ people remotely from outside of the UK, but I also know a lot of companies that have employed people that I know either from the US, from Germany, to work remotely for them. Yes, I know a couple of people and I can point to them to say, yes, this person got a job in the US, this person got a job in Germany. So the jobs are there. You only have to position yourself. Position yourself because these people, you're not in their country. So they want to know how dedicated you are. If you are who you say you are, if you're not a scammer, if you're not, if, someone that would, compromise their infrastructure or anything. So you have to position yourself as somebody who is actively learning, somebody who is trustworthy, and just have a trail of, your presence and the fact that you're a real person, you're not, stealing someone's identity. So yeah, just position yourself. There are also, I've heard of a lot of people that got jobs on all this Upwork. It could be, you could start with that. It could just be freelancing to help somebody set up like a backend, Terraform backend. Just one. It's in your portfolio. You can put it there that you actually helped somebody. That goes to show an employer that can even employ you full-time in the future, that even though you did not get a full-time role immediately or something, you did not back down. You actually put in the time to, ensure that every small task counts. And it's testament to, your skills as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Omolara. Thank you. So I'll just move on quickly to other questions. I'm keen for us to ensure that we cover at least all the questions. Someone is asking, please, is laptop necessary for cloud certifications? I have an iPad, or is it advisable to get a laptop or access to one? Please, and please, you need a laptop for your cloud learning journey. This is very important. And CPU processor should be at least a Core i3, Intel Core i3, with 8 gig minimum RAM. It's very important for you to have a really, really good laptop, either Windows, MacBook. You need a solid laptop for your cloud journey, please, because you're going to be building applications, running things. You want to make sure that your laptop is, so iPad is a no-no, phone is a no-no. You need a laptop, okay? Someone is saying that, sorry, just please, are you able to get into tech with just an undergraduate degree, or is it compulsory to have a master's before you can get a job in tech? The answer is yes, you can get with an undergraduate degree, just like Omolara has said, but you need to make sure that you have the necessary skill set that they're looking for. So if you have an undergraduate degree, even if you studied something completely different, jobs are looking for people, opportunities are looking for people that can do the job. So if you've been maybe all throughout your undergraduate degree, you've been working on tech projects, you're working on projects, you've been doing freelancing, you've been doing all sorts of things, put it together in your CV and apply for roles. A lot of companies these days are not really keen about, PhD, masters and all of that. I just want people that can work. Just like Omolara has said, if you can get certification, do it. It gives you an extra layer of credibility. I mean, immediately after Omolara's training, she did her AWS certification, right? And then she got a job in Microsoft Azure. She's been working on Microsoft Azure for over 3 years, but yes, the AWS certification helped to say, okay, fine. In addition to the fact that I've learned something, I can do an exam and pass it. So it's a combination of all of these factors, right? Your experience, what you've done. If you can get certified, honestly, some people don't look at certifications. But I would say that if you finished your training, you've done hands-on, right? And you have time on your side, go ahead and do the certification. Why not? You're just adding another layer of credibility to what you can do. So I hope that helps. Please, what are the job roles or titles that we can apply for following the training? I'll answer that, and then I'll ask Omolara the next question as we begin to wrap up. So once you finish with us at Cloudboosta, like we said, it's an 18-week program, comprehensive training, where we introduce you into concepts in cloud computing and DevOps, right? So we expect that once you finish, you could be a cloud platform engineer. Omolara is a cloud platform engineer, right? You could be a cloud DevOps engineer. You could be a site reliability engineer. You could apply for entry-level roles as a solutions architect, cloud solutions architect. You could be a junior solutions architect, right? So people's journeys are different, but these are roles that people have gotten after their training with us. So you could be a cloud administrator, you could be a cloud developer, right? It depends. And we've done many webinars on YouTube. You could check our YouTube channel where we've really talked about the meaning of all of these job titles. And, if you want more details about that, let us know. But the key thing is these are roles that you could apply for: cloud DevOps engineer, cloud platform engineer, cloud site reliability engineer, right? Cloud engineer, just being a cloud engineer, no DevOps. So you could be a solutions architect, a cloud solutions architect, or a junior architect. All of these things, the same training gives you access to any of this kind of roles. So what I tell people is, don't limit your opportunities at the beginning. Don't begin to narrow down before you do the training. Say, I want to be a cloud platform engineer. No, you have to look at where the opportunities are, because once you get into the world, once you start making money, you can easily move to something else. So don't limit yourself that, this is the job title. Not yet. Okay. So that's that about job title. Someone is saying that Okay, I think this person needs clarification, Omolara. Do you mean if there are 10 required points and you do 3 or 4, would you advise to use the whole 10 points on your CV or just the 4 that you know? I don't know if you get the question. I think someone is saying that if there's a job requirement that requires 10 things and then you are just good at 3 or 4, are you saying that the person should put all the 10 and say they can do it, or they should focus on the ones that they know?
Okay, so I think I need to clarify that. So I would say amplify what you've done with the skills that you have. Another thing you can do is you can put the other stuff that they've put as part of the requirements as learning. They know one thing that people need to understand is tools come and go. The fact that companies use, a particular tool today does not mean they will use it, in the next few years. Tools come and go. They just want to see that dedication that you can actually learn. I remember there was this interview in my company and I was discussing with the guy that did it, and he was like, oh, there was this guy that didn't know XYZ, and then the other senior engineer said, okay, we should employ him anyways because he was showing that he was actually really ready to learn. So that's what people really want. They want to see that you're learning, that you are somebody that is, able to learn and willing to fail forward at something. One thing that you need to understand is there's something we always called proof of concepts. That's an environment in tech where you test whatever it is you're doing before you put it, to users. It's okay if you don't know something, try it first. There are lots of learning resources. One interesting thing that somebody told me is a senior engineer. I need to actually stress that. In fact, a principal technology architect in my company, he said I've never used Kubernetes before. And he would not go ahead to put it on the CV as, oh, I've done this thing is Kubernetes before. It would just put it there on the skill as a learning, open to learn, more things. Tools come and go. And this person that does not know Kubernetes, he is a super master at Databricks. Say anything, is able to answer you. So he's able to amplify that. I've been able to help, XYZ company to ingest X amount of data, and they know that, oh, he's a master at this thing. Why can't he master this as well? They know that when they put him on a project, he's open to learn. He picks up anything he's given and he goes forward. So yeah, that's it really.
Thank you so much. Amplify what you know. So nobody's asking that you should say you know something you don't know. But you can't know everything in the world, right? But the ones you know, make noise about it. Omolara, thank you so much. Omolara, another question for you. Someone is saying, can you speak a bit on work-life balance? This field sounds very demanding. Oh my God, don't worry. I like the questions because they are real and we're here to help answer the questions. So
Work-life balance.
I'll touch
Okay.
on it too. Yeah.
So the interesting thing is, I don't want to say I'm not the right person to talk about work-life balance because I like work. I actually really like work. I've had a couple of times that people would text me and say, why are you still online? And that's because I actually always want to learn. I'm like, what am I using my time for? If there is a skill I can let see, truth is I'm actually chasing the bag. So if there is anything I can learn out, my employer will see that, oh, this person can actually do this. Then I'm during my next review, I can tell them, remember that I learned this thing and I was able to help you achieve this thing, increase my money. They will not be able to say no. So I think that's for me. But I have my tech lead logs off work at 4. There is nothing you can tell him. He will tell you, I've got to pick my kids up, and that's it. So some people are able to ensure that their contract says 5 p.m. and that's it now. What else are you people looking for again? It will tell you whatever it is I have not done now, I'll pick up tomorrow morning. I remember there was a time we're trying to do a release. I'm the kind of person that I want to get things done. So I messaged an engineer at 4:30. I had to close at 5, and I was like, oh, so there's this issue with this release, and I need to create a service connection. And he said we'll pick it up tomorrow. It was very interesting to me because I have a sense of urgency. And he was like, yeah, it's urgent, but at the same time, my contract says 5 p.m. I need to log off work. I understand that this is important, but I have other plans as well. I had to respect it. So it depends on you. Um, no company will force you to work outside of hours. And if you work outside of hours, I've had times I've spent I've done things outside of work, and my tech lead will actually see notifications. Even last week, he sent me a message and said, "Why did you submit a review?" I was not doing anything technical. I submitted a review at 11:30 p.m. and he said, "What were you doing online till 11:30?" This was just me saying, "Let me help this person." But he's saying you need to ensure that you're okay so you'll not be burnt out. So it's nobody's gonna force you to stay after work. It's only if you want the money, well, which I want. So, oh yeah.
Honestly, really, really good answer, Omolara. As in, that's the same thing I would say as well. And I want you to look at your journey in seasons. There may be seasons where maybe for the first 1 year, it depends on you, absolutely. If you know that I am free during this time, I don't have children, I don't have a husband, I'm relatively free. I want to go hard into my career. You can decide that, okay, fine, after work, I'm going to put in hours, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And once your life gets busy, you've laid the foundation already. You can do what you like. Some people even do that consistently. Some people do the whole strict rule consistently to their career. And one thing I noticed is that employers are not allowed to use it against you. I know people who, just like Omolara said, they log off 4 o'clock. There's nothing you want to tell them. And they're coming back to meet that work 9 a.m. the next month. And they will still get promoted. They will still get promoted at work. They will still be given opportunities. In fact, some people even trust them better because they believe that they're having more time to rest and relax than you that you're always constantly working. So Omolara has really said it all. It's all about you. And that's why the way we also do our Cloudboosta, we're very particular about days of rest as well. We know that you're probably going to be doing your 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. We can't start having lectures the whole of Saturday, the whole of Sunday. We don't do that. Even your 9 to 5 lecture with us on Saturdays, we give breaks every 1 hour. We put a 30 minutes break in between. You can't just be working endlessly without. Sometimes it becomes counterproductive. Rest is actually a very critical part of work. So I would encourage that it's totally dependent on you. And you may also realize that in a particular time window, you're free, you want to go all in. If you choose to do that, that's fine. If you choose to just ease yourself out throughout the journey, at the end of the day, everybody will still get there. You will still get that promotion, maybe just 3 months later than somebody, or you still end up getting the promotion. And, so it totally depends on you. So you can really, really have a very good work-life balance, I must say. Thank you so much, Omolara, for clarifying that as well. Okay, now someone is asking, it's so interesting how someone is saying that, are there students who you trained for 18 weeks and they got jobs? 18 weeks seems too short for a transition journey. I'm a beginner with no tech experience. And somebody else is saying, can the duration be shorter? Also, as an immigrant, what is the visa sponsorship viability? So this is the challenge you have all the time. Some people are like, it's too short. Some people are like, it's too long. But one thing I'll tell you about Cloudboosta training is that we found a sweet spot between we can't train you endlessly, right? And we cannot also train you for the shortest possible time because you need to learn. That's why your journey is 18 weeks with us. And what we do over that 18 weeks period is that we give you the tools that we know you need to land your first role. Yes, it is enough time for you to learn enough so that you can get your first role, right? It's not so that you can be a senior DevOps engineer overnight. Everybody goes through a process, right? You cannot learn in 18 weeks and then the next thing you become a cloud DevOps manager. I'm currently a cloud DevOps manager. This is my 7th year or thereabouts in the field. So, but the key thing is take the first step. So you do your boot camp, you're gaining work experience, you get your first junior, the next one, you become intermediate, you become senior, you become principal, you become a subject matter expert, right? So it's step by step. But yes, 18 weeks is enough for you to land your first role. And it gives you sufficient exposure to the tools that you need and to gain enough experience with us at Cloudboosta, which you put together as your work experience for your first role. And of course, you get reference from us as well. So can a cloud career help me relocate to UK or US? Study-based relocation is becoming more and more a hassle. I'm exploring other options now. I live in Nigeria. Yes, just like we have said before, you can get opportunities outside Nigeria in Nigeria. You can also relocate. We have people who started their training with us at Cloudboosta in Nigeria and then they got an opportunity, relocated abroad. Some people do remote jobs. They earn in dollars right there in Nigeria. So those opportunities are available. Someone is also asking, okay, the question about visa sponsorship viability. I always say this, I've always been on a sponsored visa, right? I've always gotten visa sponsorship. So sometimes organizations may not give you the sponsorship immediately. They may say, okay, come and work with us for a period of time. and then they give you the sponsorship. Sometimes you get the sponsorship upfront. There are visa sponsorship opportunities available, but you have to prove yourself. You have to let them know that you are worth the investment. That is the key thing. So, Omolara, I'd like you to touch on that and then also give your final words for anyone that is looking to transition. And then I'll talk to you guys about Cloudboosta training, give you the offer, and that will be the end for today. So, Omolara, over to you. Final words and anything else you want to touch on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gbemi. So for people who are saying that the study route is, becoming a hassle, I know that the UK has something called the Global Talent Visa. That's something you can use. Maybe after your time with Cloudboosta, you can get an internship. It's all about strategically planning where you want to get to, like ensure that you have the right skills, ensure that there is proof that you have the skills, ensure that your work is out there so that when you want to tell the endorsement body for global talent visa that you have the skills and you've worked, you have the internship, everything, you're able to apply. That's one. Lots of countries actually have specified visa for people who are in tech because they need these tech skills. They need these skills a lot. So yeah, please don't limit yourself. Don't think that you just study and then, you remain in Nigeria. No, some people also learn, they also earn from Nigeria. They earn pounds, they earn dollars, they earn euros. So yeah, there is no limit to, how far you can go. Yeah, and finally, I would say for anyone that is looking to transition, if you don't try, you would never know. So I would encourage you to try. Um, you it's important to actually take a chance on yourself. You can say, oh, people don't believe in you, but do you believe in yourself? Do you believe you can? Um, so it's important that you try to just take that first step and just learn. And I want everybody to know that the fact that you are actually transitioning, it would tell an employer that you can actually learn anything. And that's one thing that attracts employers to people. I remember when during my interview, my capability lead back then, it was looking at me and it was like, you mean you studied English? He looked at me and I was like, oh, okay. It was a proof to him that whatever challenge it is I face, I would always ensure that, I find my way around it. And then, there is always something to go. I remember, when I was to get my visa sponsorship and then what just got out, someone was telling me that, oh, they were asking my capability like leader, oh, what's up with Lara? And it was like, well, yeah, we are sponsoring her because our drive is a lot. So yeah, when companies see that you are valuable, they would definitely ensure that you stay because once you are irreplaceable, people would want to keep you. So don't say, oh, will I get sponsorship or not? Are you actually showing your company that you are someone who is valuable? Strategically, like I said, strategically show yourself as somebody who is able to do it, who is able to do the work. See, heard a lot of people that they're like, oh, my company don't sponsor people. And then because of them, the company will, go out of their way to ensure that they get the sponsorship certificates and then they can sponsor you. It's because they know that you're actually very valuable and you are committed. You are committed to doing the work. So yes, I mean, if you see something that is really good for you, why would you let it go? So yeah, employers would definitely ensure that, they keep you when they see that you're actually valuable and irreplaceable. So for visa sponsorships, please don't be discouraged. There are lots of companies that sponsor. One, you have to strategically position yourself on different platforms. Two, network. You have to ensure that when you go for events, you speak to people and you tell them, oh, I'm from Nigeria. It's actually would I call it a superpower now that you are able to move from one country to another and you can adapt. It's a lot. It's not everybody that can do that. There are times that my line manager will just look at me and be like, how sunny is it in Nigeria? I'm like, very sunny. So that you pull I'm actually trying in this cold. So yeah, they know that changing or adapting to someone else's culture, someone else's weather, way of life, food, it's a lot. So yeah, you have to, show them that you are someone that can actually go all out to do whatever it is you've set your heart to do. So please don't be discouraged. There are lots of industries that they need people. So they would gladly sponsor you. one industry that, people don't look at a lot is, the retail industry. They actually need a lot of cloud engineers. I know some companies I'm looking at and I'm just hiring them. I'm like, I don't actually want to join these people because, they are willing to, ensure that they keep you. There's a lot at stake for them. They need customers, so they are willing to put all their eggs in your basket to ensure that, we need you, we want to keep you, want you to help us acquire more customers. You are playing your part by ensuring that the company is moving forward. So why wouldn't they sponsor you? So please, Global Talent Visa, positioning yourself on social media platforms, or LinkedIn, for example. There's also a platform called Well Found. I'm not sure a lot of people actually know it. It's for startups, and um, companies are actually just looking for people to take on at the early stage, to ensure that they can do the work. They actually do a lot of visa sponsorships as well. There are a lot of times I go on there, I see startups that are, posting up jobs, and they are saying visa sponsorship is available. Some of them will not even have the intention to give visa sponsorship at the start. But when you speak with them and you tell them, oh, I like what you're doing, you let them know that their value and your value aligns. You show them that you're interested in helping the company to move forward. They will definitely, ensure that, they keep you. And one thing I want you to understand is you are the price. Anybody that rejects you, it's their loss. So if they do not value you, someone else will definitely value you and pay premium for you. So yeah, please don't give up.
Thank you so much. Really, really well said. Really, really well said. I'm sure you guys have had a lovely time having answers to your questions. So right now, I'm just going to tell you, thank you so much, Omolara. It's been a pleasure having you. And please, we're going to put a link to her LinkedIn profile in the chat box. Please put mine as well for the person that wants to see the review. So if you want to reach out to her or just follow her journey, you would find that on LinkedIn. Okay. Now, for people, all the questions related to Cloudboosta, payment plans, and all of that, I'm just going to take that, right now. So I already have a presentation that answers all the questions, and I've written all those questions down just so that I ensure that I get to every single thing. So what do we do at Cloudboosta, right? Which is the same journey Omolara has been through. We basically turn tech enthusiasts into competent cloud DevOps professionals. And how do we do this? We have a comprehensive cloud DevOps training course, which is for 18 weeks. And the things that you have included in the course are just listed above. So part of your training, you have the access to our introduction to cloud DevOps course, which was recorded in a studio, lovely animations, just introducing you to the concept of cloud computing. You join us for weekly live classes every Saturday. Somebody asks what time. It's basically 9 a.m. every Saturday, UK time. So people join from across the world. I encourage people, even if it's midnight for you, just ensure that you join. And it's usually for 6 to 8 hours, so it depends on the class, but plan for 6 to 8 hours. So it's 9 a.m. UK time. Okay. And then part of it, you have one-on-one facilitator support. You're exposed to industry standard projects at Cloudboosta from your first day. For those of you that joined our bootcamp, I said the same thing as well. Just similar to what you experienced during the bootcamp, or if you didn't join it, every single class you have at Cloudboosta adds up to your knowledge of being a cloud DevOps engineer. The projects are what to be put in your CV that you used to apply for a job. And then as part of your project, your time with us at Cloudboosta, we have 2 major semesters. During your first semester, you have a major project that you do with a group of people, and then you have a second project as well. All of this is part of what would form your learning journey. You have fully guided labs. So we have what we call lab documents that just gives you step-by-step instruction on how to build solutions on the cloud, in addition to facilitator support. We also provide AWS certification exam readiness materials. Someone is asking about installment payment plan for certification. So the certification we recommend at Cloudboosta is your AWS Cloud Solutions Architect certification, which is only $150. So you will need to clarify. Someone is talking about a certification that is £2,500. We don't do that at Cloudboosta. That's the certification we tell you to do is the $150 one, which is the AWS certification certification exam. Please correct me if I'm wrong on the price, but I think it's between $150 to $300. Examination simulation sessions. So we basically prepare you for your exam, and we give you those simulation sessions, just like mock exams, so that we know that you're ready. Provide additional resources as well. You have a strong learning community with us at Cloudboosta. That's another challenge some people have. You don't want to learn on your own. You don't want to just learn by sitting on the computer and watching some videos online. You want to have a group of people that you're learning together. We do employability training as well, so you won't have the issue of you don't know how to put your CV together, because ultimately you're trying to get a job. So we do CV reviews, we do mock interview sessions with you, and then we follow up afterwards as well. So basically, these are the courses you learn with us at Cloudboosta. In addition to your intro to cloud course modules, we do AWS services deep dive. We don't teach you every AWS service. There are over 200 of them, but we teach you the essential ones that you need to know so that you can land your role. And then you do Python as well. You learn Linux, you learn Git and GitHub, Jenkins, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, ELK, and Ansible. And you don't need to have heard what these tools are, but all of these tools, you can check them online. These are the tools you need in order to become a competent cloud DevOps professional and land your first role in any of those areas that I spoke about and in any industry that you desire. So how do we get you to competence at Cloudboosta? You learn with a lot of monitoring. You learn together and you learn by doing. Weekly live classes, 9 a.m. for 6 to 8 hours. You get close contact as you build. And these are the labs I spoke about. Every single course you do with us at Cloudboosta, we have lab sessions. As you learn a concept, you're going to build related to that concept, because what you're learning at Cloudboosta is how to be a cloud DevOps professional, not just how to pass your certification. We're more focused on your hands-on, because that's what will give you the job. And these labs, we found them very, very useful guidance for you as you build solutions on the cloud. So for every single module, you have documents like this built in-house just to guide your learning journey. From a career support perspective, just like I mentioned, CV reviews, job interview simulation, LinkedIn upgrade training, job readiness sessions as well. So we have times where we'll bring people who have done the training, gotten jobs, and tell you how they did it. Just like Omolara shared her own, she got a job, her job by referral. Some people got their job by alumni newsletter. Some people got the job on LinkedIn. I've gotten a number of jobs on LinkedIn. Some people got by applications, applied to so many, and then you have preparation materials as well. And then alumni community is a huge part of what we do at Cloudboosta. We don't just leave you after your 18 weeks with us. You get the opportunity to mentor, to network and meet mentors in the alumni community. You have access to our job board, newsletter. We also continue to guide you on getting your job opportunity. And we have what we call the Cloudboosta Alumni DevOps Drive. So you get assistance with projects. So when you finish your training with us, if you don't get your job immediately, some people get the job immediately, some people get 3 months after, some people get a couple of months after. What we do is that we put you as part of the alumni community, and then you continue to build projects. So we give you guidance on how to build those projects, add them to your CV. So no time is being wasted, because you're building your portfolio and then you're becoming more valuable so you can get the job you desire. So and all of that is not coming at an extra cost. It's just for you to be a part of the community and for you to get your dream. At Cloudboosta, we get the best cloud professionals to teach you their expertise. So we have people who work from BGSS, PwC. I mean, Omolara works in BGSS. I work in PwC as a cloud DevOps manager. We have lecture this Saturday. I'm going to be teaching a class. Charles is going to be teaching. Charles works in AWS. We have people that work in Accenture, Mintel, people that are competent cloud DevOps professionals all over the world. You can check their profile online. You will see that you're getting the best. We basically teach you what we do at work. So we're not having that issue of what you're learning not being relevant, because we're in the field and we do this all the time. So we're telling you basically what we're doing real time. What do we need from you? We need you to be very comfortable with the general use of a computer. This is important, right? We need people who can use a computer, and then people who are ready to devote extra hours for study and practice outside of class. You have to be passionate about the transition and give it all it takes. And this doesn't change the fact that, yes, you'll be able to balance it well with all the things that you're doing. We just need you to be ready to put in the work so that you can get the job you desire. So for you that have joined us on the call, as one-time discount has been extended to you as well. Instead of you to pay £4,000 for the training, you're only paying $2,500, and that applies to everybody on the course for all the technologies that you're learning: Python, Docker, AWS, Jenkins. For each of these different technologies, you could go for a training and they'll tell you this one is 2,000, this one is 1,500, and all of that. But we're teaching you every single thing, and all you're paying is £2,500 as an investment into your 18 weeks learning journey, plus alumni community, plus access to all the learning resources even after you finish your training with us for a 1-year period. It's a whole lot that you're getting for a little investment, right? And Omolara was talking about your starting salary being £40,000. Even for people in Nigeria, there are people that are earning dollars. People in US, Canada, they are getting this kind of opportunities we're talking about. So hurry and be a part of this journey. We're starting on Saturday. Once the train moves, the train moves. Next course, we don't have a date yet, but it's better you join and then you get your dream job before the end of the year. Installment plans are available. A lot of people have asked about installment payment plans. We do have payment plans available. So for your payment plan, just reach out to us and we'll tell you about the payment plan. Now, actually, I just remember that I actually have a special discount for everybody else again. So if you want to take advantage of the discount that makes you pay just £2,300, then all you need to do is to pay your first deposit of £800 within 24 hours. So with that, you get £200 extra off again, off the £2,500. So this one is a special discount for people that are on the call. And this offer expires on Thursday, 15th of May. Some people have taken advantage of it because I gave the offer to people that attended the boot camp as well, and we're extending this offer to you guys as well. So you get extra £200 off, which is a whole lot. And again, installment payment plans are available. You can pay. Some people ask what the payment plan looks like. Someone said, I'm in Trinidad and Tobago. The money is so amount. You can pay once, you can pay 2 times, you can pay up to 3 times. And just reach out to one of our program advisors if you're interested. This is the number to reach out to. Just send bootcamp discount to this WhatsApp number. We're going to put it in the chat box as well, or just send them a message. Send this person a message. That's our program advisor, and they will be able to advise on the best payment plan for you. But we have different payment plans. You can do 2 times, you can do 3 times, just to help out with the payment. Someone is asking that if I miss a training, will I be able to catch up on the recording? Our classes are on Saturdays, and every time all the classes that are recorded, they go, we put them on our learning management system afterwards. So by Sunday, you have all the recordings, so you can go back and watch the video even if you miss a class. But we mark attendance. That's why we say you learn with monitoring. So we mark attendance, so we don't want you to miss too many classes because to affect your learning journey, okay? Start date is this Saturday, 17th of May. We are starting this course, and by September, you are done learning cloud computing. Imagine landing your dream job before the end of this work. Some people are asking questions around, I'm already in a field in tech. Is it what transitioning? People have done it as well. Look at your career trajectory. Look at your salary and what your salary has been in the last 3 years. Are you happy with it? Consider cloud computing. I always say it's in cloud computing within 2 years, even after you get started, you could potentially double your salary, and your trajectory is just upward. So send a message to us on WhatsApp, reach out to one of our program advisors. You can take advantage of any of these discounts that we have available for you. Also, you can connect with us on LinkedIn as well. So I've been able to combine the questions you guys had about Cloudboosta with this presentation. If you still have any other questions, please let me know. That brings us to the end of our program. Okay, someone said, what is it going to be like for someone who works every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.? If you're working every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., reach out to us. Program advisor will be able to advise you. But what that means is that you're not going to be able to attend any of the live classes, and we don't like that. But you can take advantage of the recording. And what happens is that we also have a checkpoint with our students every week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, would advise, depending on the course, right? And we usually have a checkpoint. So if you work on Saturdays, do you have any other day that you're free? So we have to design something customized for you. So which means that you have to choose a day. I don't believe that you're going to be working every single day of the week. If you're doing that, that is a lot of work. You should have times that you're free. So that means you're going to ensure that you catch up on your learning during your free time, and you have to submit your assignment. So if we talk, still reach out to our program advisor. We'll see if you can do the training or not. But if you will not be able to participate in the training at all, then that's not a good thing. We need your time to ensure that you're able to do it. So if for people that work on Saturdays, reach out to us. We need to design something that would work for you and that you have to commit to. You have to give us. So if you're working on Saturday, what time are you going to give for cloud computing, right? What would that look like? Are you still going to be able to submit your assignments on Thursdays? Will you be able to attend the catch-up sessions on Wednesdays? Will you participate on WhatsApp so that we can answer your questions? If you can still do that, then it can be a part of the training. The key thing is that you're measuring progress and you're getting value for your investment, okay? So that brings us to the end of our training today. So yeah, we're willing to take you on board regardless of your situation, time difference, age. All of these things are not a barrier. We believe you can do it. We've done this for many years. We've helped many people transition, including Omolara that you've seen here. And look at her journey in the last 3 years. And there's so many people every one of you listening on the call, you've probably been joining us. Some of you, this is your 10th webinar. Some of you, 20th webinar. You've been following. And this is the time for you to make a decision. This is 2025. You don't want this year to finish and then you've still not decided you're going to do this, right? Because by next year, you should be saying you're 1 year into cloud DevOps, not that you're still thinking whether this is the field for you, okay? We've answered all your questions already. I believe that all the questions have been taken and we don't want to take further of your time. If you have any further questions that have not been, okay, repeat the classes, the prizes again, please, slowly. Cloudboosta. Okay, so for the prizes, sorry, I'm literally just saying that. So for the prizes, am I still sharing my screen? Let me share my screen for people that want to see the prizes. So basically, what you're paying for the training is £2,500. That's the full price for the training. If you need to pay via installments, 1 installment, 2 installment, 3 installment, reach out to us. Installment payment plans are available. Now we have a special discount for people who can actually, if you want to take advantage of being able to pay £2,300 as your total cost fee, that means you want to get £200 off, then all you need to do is to make your first deposit of £800 within 24 hours. So if you do that, then you can lock down the price $2,300 instead of $2,500. So I hope that is clear. I'm so glad I saw that question before we left. So so that's the price for the training. It's just £2,500 for your 18 weeks. So that's all you're paying for the training program. Is it possible to get the recording after the meeting? Yes, you can. You can get the recording to be on our YouTube channel, and you can always watch the replay. Oh yeah, Omolara, could you give us the name of the company that you mentioned that has startups that provides visa sponsorship? Please, you can put it in the chat box, or you can voice it over as well, please.
Oh yeah, it's called Well Found, but I would put it in the chat as well.
Okay. So somebody says that I work every other Saturday. So if you work every other Saturday, that's fine. That means there's some Saturdays you'll be in class. We can work something out for you. Reach out to one of our program reach out to our program advisor, and we will we will see what we can work out. But you have to make a commitment to us that you're going to participate regardless. We've had people who did that every Saturday thing. They had to commit. Because for us, it's important that you get value. It's not just sign up for the training and then you now don't come. And then, because we're going to be chasing you. We're going to be coming after you. We want to see what you're doing. We're going to be measuring your progress. It's important that you actually do. At the end of the day, I tell people, like, there's no value in you we need you to actually engage in the training and let it work for you. That's our priority. Nothing else other than that. That's why we're doing what we do. You know, so we have to agree that you're going to still make it work. Together is a joint agreement if you're working on Saturdays or every other Saturday, but we can still make it a joint effort by both parties. Okay, we will give you the support that you need, and we need you to also give us your time. I'm just trying to make sure that I've covered all the questions since I think we're still on the call. Okay, some people have dropped off already. Okay, good, very good. I think we've covered all the questions already. So thank you so much for your time, everyone. Any other question you didn't get an answer to, please ensure you reach out to us. Reach out to us on WhatsApp so that we can actually give you a closer guidance as to you know, how best we can support you. Omolara, once again, thank you so much for your time with us. It's been a pleasure having you, and thank you for being an inspiration as well for many people. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. For those of you that signed up already, I'm looking forward to seeing you in class on Saturday. And for those of you that are still contemplating, my question is, what are you waiting for? You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you in class on Saturday. Bye, everyone. Omolara, thank you very much. Bye,
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye. When does the 24 hours elapse? 14th of May, 7 p.m. That's when it elapses. All right, cool. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone.